Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, October the 28th, 2021, Thursday of the 30th week of the year, but also the feast of the apostles Simon and Jude. Coming to you from, again, the back patio of the Rectory Friary, as most of the leaves, I was here a little while ago, most of the leaves have fallen, just a few more will need to go as kind of fall continues its onward thrust into our year. But today, these two saints, these two apostles, again, the sort of minor apostles, not much is known of them, but much arises about them and their tradition and their history. Simon is the Zealot. Simon the Zealot, who has his own special song in the rock musical Jesus Christ Superstar. But he was someone who was fighting in aggressive ways against Roman occupation of the Holy Land in the first century. The fact that he was known as a zealot is kind of is an indication that he was perhaps in many ways thought to be a terrorist to the Romans, as someone who was again fighting against Roman occupation, Roman rule of the Promised Land. The fact that he becomes an apostle is interesting, because again, this is not Jesus's whole mission, Jesus's whole message, and his way of presenting the good news would not have been something perhaps a zealot would have latched onto immediately. And yet something happens with this Simon, another Simon, not the one who becomes Simon Peter, but with this Simon that redirects his zealotry into proclaiming this good news, proclaiming this reign of God, and not basically the reestablishment of the kingdom of Judah or the kingdom of Israel. Again, that transformation that happens with somebody who might have been antithetical to Jesus's proclamation and to the Christian movement, becoming someone who is one of its centerpieces. St. Jude is Jude Thaddeus. Again, sometimes there are two Judes, but this is Jude Thaddeus, and he is the patron of hopeless causes. Sometimes, again, the causes that zealots may embrace could be hopeless. So kind of being paired together in a strange way on this twinning of apostles' feasts. There's only a few more. Philip and James, have a twinned feast also. Most other apostles have their own feast day, but Simon and Jude share this one because, again, what seems to be hopeless for humanity is never hopeless for God. Whatever seems to lead to despair for humanity can lead to glory and wonder and joy for God. So an important thing to remember. Readings are special for today. They don't speak of much, except, again, the first reading, it does speak, again, about being chosen, and the idea about accompanying God's work, about being a chosen person, and being one who shares in the glory that comes from that work that God is able to do. The important thing that God, again, realizes is the necessity of us, the necessity of our own will put to use for the proclamation of the kingdom, the proclamation of the reign of God, and that will of ours being something that contributes to its continual building and revelation in the world. We are not passive bystanders. We are not people who just sit back and allow the glory of the Lord to unfold us. We are people who help to make that glory known, and to help other people realize how the glory resides within, and how we can make that glory true and real in all that we say and all that we do. In the gospel, basically, we have the call of the apostles, and Simon and Jude are listed among them. Again, the important thing to remember always is that these were ordinary men. Men who really had no qualifications, no merits, nothing deserving for them to be called into this companionship with Jesus, and yet out of the ordinariness, God works the extraordinary, which is true always in our midst, true always in our lives, true always in who we are, and what God has called us to be. To see the extraordinary in the ordinary, to see nothing of useless or nothing of disvalue, but to see in all things the wonder and the glory of God being revealed in our midst. And may the Lord give you his peace.